good morning, and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, Castbox is your best option. Remember, if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys. Good morning, good night. Thank you for choosing the Body Snatchers podcast. Tino here, hanging out with Jay. Jay, say hello.
Hello, beautiful people.
It's a beautiful day. Today, we thought it would be fun to not only talk a little bit about Avengers Endgame, but to do a two-part episode. So in this episode, we're going to be having what I would call a spoiler-free episode. We're just going to dive in, talk a little bit about Endgame without getting too into detail, probably more so about our reactions and how we felt. And also, maybe some of the events building up to it. So if you haven't seen it yet, we are giving you guys a couple extra days to, hey, check out the podcast, hang out with us. But this part 2 episode, we're diving in. We're going in. Right, Jay?
Yeah, we going.
Oh, yeah, because there's
risk it for the biscuit.
I really can't wait to talk about it. I have just so many thoughts and so many feelings regarding it. And before we get started, the website has recently changed. I know in the past I told you guys head over to bodysnatcherspodcast.com. It is now officially bodysnatchersmedia.com. Just easier, kind of moving away from using the podcast terminology quite as much. So just wanted to address that to you. Also, make sure you head over to the website, check out the Patron account. Help us keep the lights on, all that fun stuff. YouTube channel is youtube.com/bodysnatchersmedia. On Tuesday, we're actually giving away a copy of Mortal Kombat to a lucky subscriber. So if you guys happen to catch this on Monday, all we want you to do is subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, then just comment on one of our most recent videos, telling us, who your favorite Mortal Kombat character and why, if you have time. It's been fun for us to read through those, and we're just kind of going through. We're going to be selecting somebody at random. So again, not too late. We like to give back. Now, moving on to, the topic at hand here, Endgame. So it's going to be tough to talk about without having any spoilers.
Very difficult.
But it'll be fun. It'll be fun, they said. So I saw it Thursday night because my birthday was Friday, so I had to be extra. Happy birthday, Tino! Thank you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys. It was a good birthday. It was perfect because Endgame landed. So we got to see that right after work. And I cried. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not like, oh my god, But there were people in the theater that afterwards, that was their reaction, and I felt like it was justified. Like I was like teary-eyed for sure. Not ashamed to admit that. Like it put me in my feelings hard, and the 3 hours for me flew by. What about you, Jay?
Oh no, it's the same. The pacing was beautiful. The way they were able to. It was perfect. It wasn't too drawn out. When the action got going, it was right on time. It didn't. You know how sometimes the action in certain movies, it'd be like, oh, it's just explosions. It's Michael Bay, but it was solid. It was beautifully paced.
Well, you know what I thought was
very well written.
You know what I thought was weird was the pacing, because there are slower moments, but when you step back and kind of look at the bigger, broader picture, it didn't really feel that way because of where like action and stuff was placed. So like within the first 30 minutes of the film, they hit you with like a lot of fast-paced, over-the-top aggressive stuff that I was not expecting. But I really enjoyed it. Like they kind of hit the ground running, and then the pacing kind of subsided a little bit, and then you got more in depth with all that emotional stuff that the wear and tear on my spirit.
Yeah, because really it was them kind of still dealing with the snapshot as it was.
Right. Hopefully that shows up.
I'm sure, but it was great though. It was great.
So, I mean, going into this, because Infinity War definitely left everybody feeling some type of way. Infinity War is interesting because at the end of it, I wasn't really sad, just because, you knew that wasn't, the last of anything. You knew that they were going to come back around. And this movie holds a lot more weight. There's a lot more object permanence, so when things happen in this movie, you know that there's not going to be a part 3 coming out. So I think that might be why it weighed so much heavier on me. Did you feel the same way?
I did, and I feel like they kind of doubled down on everything that happened in Infinity War, and that's another reason why, you really felt the weight, and people was hurt. People was hurt. Like it was bad.
Do you think this movie do you think it delivered? Did it hit your expectations? Because for me, um, I would say it hit my expectations and exceeded. I would say.
Yeah, and I don't know what else they could have really done. I feel like it was the best way to be a culmination of the past 22 movie, or the whole saga. Like it was just A1. Uh, you good, man?
Oh, I'm just bringing my screen in a little bit.
But yeah, so I uh, definitely blew past my expectations. I didn't think that it would be like the best thing ever. I was just like, all right, it'll be another movie. Obviously it'll be great, but it was everything I needed it to be.
It was wild,
Easy.
man. Like, the last time I watched a superhero movie that kind of put me in my feelings. I mean, Infinity War, a little bit, not too much. Just Infinity War had me just leaving with an awkward taste in my mouth because I knew we were gonna have to wait a year, possibly
Hmm.
plus, before we got to see the end of it. Logan would be a perfect example of something that made me feel some type of way because Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, I liked the character. I liked Wolverine. The first Wolverine, he was all right in the X Men movies. That wasn't his fault. I hated the second one, the Silver Samurai, just because they really jacked up an amazing villain, unnecessarily so. But outside of that, again, Hugh Jackman. I mean, he's been Wolverine. So when
Hmm.
Logan came out, I mean, that was a tough pill to swallow. It was done beautifully, and it hurt the way that everything was. And regardless of what the ending was going to be, you knew that this was the end of it. For
Hmm.
Logan, and that's exactly how I felt, but on a way bigger scale. Because Logan, that was really it. I mean, I guess you had Logan, Hugh Jackman, and then you had Professor X, played by Patrick Stewart, and tossing those two into the mix. Knowing that was going to be the end for both of them, like, okay, double whammy. That kind of hurt. But I mean, in this one, there's what I can't say anything, but outside of knowing, having any knowledge about the film itself, without any substance anyways, that a bunch of actors, their contracts are coming to an end, so they find a way to do what they do. And
Hmm.
I swear to God, I cannot wait to talk about this. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
can't. And it's like running through. Did you have a chance to rewatch any of the old Marvel movies?
yeah. I started maybe a couple weeks ago, so I was picking choosing. Definitely Iron Man, Avengers. What else I watch? But yeah, I picked a few. I picked a few to watch. I didn't rewatch everything, but I was there. I was ready.
Man, and it's crazy because I'm the biggest Iron Man fan. I just love Iron Man. I loved all the movies. I know that the Iron Man section of these Marvel movies weren't necessarily the best, and that's it's debatable. It comes down to preference, but just being the fanboy that I am for them, I thoroughly enjoyed them. So going back and checking those out and seeing his fight with Whiplash, and just everything that went through it, and like in the third movie, how he kind of had to learn, because the first two movies was kind of like, you need more power, you got to do more, you got to be more, you got to be better. But the third movie was like, the suit doesn't make Iron Man, Tony. You're Iron Man. It's in here, you know. And I don't know, man. Just like going through and like watching like that kind of stuff. Watching the first Captain America, the first Avenger, and just rewatching all that stuff. Where he's getting his injections, all these separate origin stories. Thor's first movie was really good. I like Dark World personally.
Okay.
What was your?
Yeah.
I mean, what were your favorites out of like everything that we've came through? Because this is the end game. Let's talk about it.
Right,
Let's
right.
talk about
Well, real quick before we go into that, I want to say how it was beautiful how they were able to touch on certain things from different movies. You know what I mean? Like,
it. Careful,
well, I don't want to get into it,
careful.
but yeah, I know. but it's just like little stuff that they just touch on that it was really cool to see certain characters in a different light and stuff. But yeah, so that was it was awesome to see how they were able to piece it all together, and to bring us to the end game.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, it's I mean, and to add clarity to what Jay's saying, basically, in Endgame, they don't forget about everything that it took to build, where the movie is right now. So when you're watching it, it's not just going to be stuff from two, but I'm sorry, from Infinity War, but they make sure to incorporate and just bring back some stuff that you might have forgot about, which I think is really important to the story. So if you didn't get a chance, to rewatch all the movies, and I hope you do before you see it, or at least some of your favorite ones. You're quickly reminded of some really awesome stuff. So anyways, I don't want to go into that tangent, but I just again, I thought it was cool how they didn't forget about the universe that they built. It gets acknowledged. It gets
mhm.
acknowledged. But again, back to your favorite your stuff.
But yeah, yeah. So I would first say that Dark World was definitely not my favorite. Uh, I just because you said you like it, I'm gonna say I don't like it. Um,
Ugh.
any of the Avengers, man, were beyond solid. Uh, maybe Age of Ultron was a little meh,
Age of
you know,
Ultron was kind of whack.
but it was needed, it was necessary, and it was able, it was everything was just kind of building on to the end game. You know what I mean? Like it was all necessary in certain lights.
It ain't no
So it
strings.
was
It ain't no strings on me, Jay.
wasn't.
It ain't no strings on me.
But yeah, but my absolute favorite, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. I had to say,
It's tough because
yeah, yeah.
because each movie, like, yeah, I get it. They're Marvel movies, so they tend to have like this general feel. But I think that each one tells a story of a different character, and each character is vastly different from one another. So I mean, for me, I liked them all. I really can't think of an individual origin ish type story that I didn't really care for. Like Doctor Strange was really really good. Ant Man, one of my favorite heroes, really really good. Guardians of the Galaxy one was solid. Two was good, but I was just a little nitpicky about how they did Peter's dad. Which there's a whole episode for that we did. Jesus, like a year or two, like 2 years ago.
Where the time goes.
Yeah. Um, Black Panther, I loved Black Panther. I think like my biggest issue with Black Panther was I love Michael B. Jordan. I didn't hate him as Killmonger. It just wasn't, it wasn't super great. As a villain, like I just wasn't really feeling him. It felt like outside of like the really awesome serious moments, like where he was in California and doing his acting, it felt like they found like a rich, well brought up dude who was like trying to be urban, be hood for the role, and I just wasn't buying into
I can see that.
but and it just felt corny to me. It felt like Carlton from Fresh Prince was like, I'm a badass now, like a scene like that. But outside of that, he was a pretty good character. I don't think he was like Heath Ledger good or anything, but few can be.
True,
you know,
true.
if he would have died, people would have lost it. Let me not
Yeah,
let me not be petty.
but wait, what was
I said, let me not be petty.
that?
You know,
But but yeah, overall it was good. The writing was superb. Even just like the one liners, some of the jokes, even if it had something even heavier, like some heavy meaning behind some of the things, like some life gems that you could live by.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was man, the writing was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
I think what was good. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. The writing was absolutely phenomenal. But what I liked is in this movie, it had really well balanced comedy. One of my biggest issues with Thor Ragnarok is I felt like they were almost making up for how serious Dark World was. I like Dark World. Now,
Hmm.
Chris Hemsworth has gone on record saying, like he wasn't really feeling that role. He wasn't sure if he wanted to continue playing Thor, and then Ragnarok brought in new life, and I can totally see where he's coming from. But I think to have a serious movie here and there was worth it, and I vibed with it. I liked it. It's still one of my favorites. Ragnarok was a little too funny at times. There was just some moments that should have been more serious. When you're rising up to end slavery. I didn't want to laugh that much.
Right.
I wanted a lot of comedy. I do. I don't. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's just a little too much. This movie, I
Hmm.
feel that they address that issue, uh, and handle it really, really, really well. So you had comedy. There was hell. They even squeezed in comedy at times where you didn't think you could, and it was like just enough to kind of like take your breath away. Just make you sit back and like it's a chuckle, but like you have like this weird emotional feeling. Like they captured it so well. As if you were joking with a friend. At like a I don't know what's the most serious thing we can think of, like a funeral or a wake or something like that.
Hmm.
At times the most serious thing I can think of, and it's like a lighthearted joke, in response to the person that you guys are looking at. Like you're telling like a nice story about them. It's not making fun of them. It's not ha ha
Hmm.
funny, but like it's just like everybody smiles and they smile on screen. You smile, everybody smiles, and
Yeah.
not one time was I just like they shouldn't have did that. And the action,
Yeah.
oh my god! We're gonna talk
Ooh.
about the action on the next show
Ooh.
in detail, but,
Mm.
man, if you're looking for action, we mentioned, yeah, you get a little bit of action in the beginning, but god damn!
Yeah, and it was worth the build up because, like you said, you get a little bit in the beginning, and then you got to wait a little bit. You get the building, and but when you get there, it is, oh man, it's a treat. You guys will enjoy. You will definitely enjoy it.
The way they went out, man, like, just the climactic points towards the end, is what I'm referring to. Woo!
Yeah.
I just yeah, I could watch just that section all day long and, like,
Oh yeah, easy,
and just
easy.
on repeat and be fine with it. Take the audio out, whatever you want. Like it was just shot so perfectly. And I need to go back. Before we do the second show, I'm gonna get into more detail and see who did some of like the choreography or who had the ideas for that. Because to this day, um, Coogler, who did Black Panther, like his choreography was like my favorite. I don't know if you've ever watched any videos with him like breaking down certain fight scenes. There's one that kind of went viral online where he's discussing the scene where T'Challa and Okoye and I forget who else was in that scene off the top of my head right now, but they're all in the room and it's when they're going to catch one of the bad guys and like they're like undercover, you know and
Hmm.
Ryan is he's breaking it down as to just how everything is supposed to flow, and he's like, we you know did certain shots this way and we had to get this weird kind of angle so you really felt the kick, and then from this worm's eye view, we needed it to look like that. He really breaks it down in a way that makes it flow, and you're just like, this is perfection. You really thought about everything. And that to me is how the choreography felt in this. Not to knock any of the other movies, I'm not, but it just felt like they called out all the stops.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it definitely. I don't want to get into it, but it's just the way that everything came together when it, like you said, that climactic point, like that last hoorah, like ooh, I was amped. Like I was in there, like yes,
Right?
I'm ready.
Punch in the air. I want
Guys next to me, like, what the hell is he doing?
and that's another thing too. Hopefully you guys do get to see this with the next 2 weeks, and and I hate to keep bringing up Black Panther, but like Black Panther, um, if you went within the first like 2-3 weeks of that movie, you didn't just see a movie. You got an experience. It's not,
Yeah.
of course, I feel bad for the people who get stuck next to the crying baby or the jackass who drank a fifth of vodka before he went to the theater because he thought it would be funny. I did that as a teenager. I apologize. I was terrible. But for those people aside, it's an experience. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to sit down in a crowded room with people who are on edge just as much as you are. They're just as invested,
Hmm.
in what's happening, and to look out amongst other fans who know the story, who are bawling. I'm tearing up. I look over at Kathy. Kathy's, I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ. But it's like, but I get it. Like at no point would I sit back and be like, look at this guy. Over here, he's so
Hmm.
invested. Like they felt it. I felt it. When people were happy, they were screaming, they were clapping at certain times, and you've got to go as early as possible because that's what you miss out on if you don't.
Yeah, that energy, and like when, like let's say Man. All right. The
Careful.
no spoilers are killing me. But I got it though. I got it. Don't worry, guys. Uh, but when when the fighting gets going, and is really, you can just feel it. Like you saying, it was a event. It's you get the energy, and when, let's say for example, Infinity War. I've never been to a movie theater where everyone was just left devastated. Like nobody was saying anything
Oh,
when they.
it was quiet. I remember babies were crying and stuff. Like I was like, whoa. They were like, "Daddy, is he dead?" I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Not my kids. I
Yes.
ain't got none. But I'm just saying that's what I heard.
But it's just like, so you could really feel that, and they tripled down on the feels, on the. It was just mm, a masterpiece.
How was kind of silly to ask. I know I said for most people, not everybody. I heard some people this movie was stale. Shut up. We don't want you. We don't
How
want
dare
you
you?
around here. How dare you?
How dare you?
But for me, I was saying the time it was a long movie, but it didn't feel like how like Titanic was like almost 3.5 hours long.
Hmm.
Titanic felt long. Like there's a certain point where like they're on the bottom of the deck and they're dancing, and I'm like, damn, bro, how long is it gonna take you to win this girl over? Like, can we move this along? That's how you get with Titanic. But this you did not really feel that way. Uh,
Yeah.
but more importantly, my question to you is, I took like 2 bathroom breaks before going into the movie. Like we got there early, and I was like, just in case, you know.
every drop.
Yeah, I
Man,
was pushing. I was like, "You'll cause me no issues today, bladder." I would wait like every 25 minutes, but that's all the soda I'm having today.
that's the same thing. The pacing. That's what it's all about. I'm
Yeah,
like, ooh, that
and
was good.
I would recommend
Quick
uh,
sip.
I would recommend getting a lot of snacks, as opposed to filling up on liquid because snacks are not going to do you wrong unless you got like a bad bladder or tummy, weak intestines. I don't know, but maybe get you some raisinets. I was eating like two at a time. Uh,
Yeah.
just because I felt that you're gonna stressy. I felt the urge to stressy, and I just sip on soda after my little one snack. But no, I was a fat ass. I got all kinds of man. I had the mozzarella sticks. I had the flaming hot mixed popcorn. I had raisinets. Like I just and to be honest with you, I killed everything within the first 30 minutes. I tried to hold it out, and I was just like, oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah, see, and that's why you was struggling with that run today. Don't let Tino lie to you guys. He was struggling.
Oh yeah, no, it's emotionally,
But
emotionally, I was hurt. But it's weird, without talking about any specific spoilers, because
mm-mm,
like it,
don't you do it.
even though well, no, it's just like my own personal feeling that a lot of people that I've spoken with have agreed with. Even though it hurts, like things hurt, like you also get hit with just as much like happy vibes from the movie as well. A lot
Hmm.
of people aren't talking about that. There's a lot of stuff um, that's going to put a big smile on your face, if you'll let it. And I think that that's like, part of the reason this was, so beautifully done because Infinity War was like,
Hmm.
we all went south. This one, I'm not going to say like which way it goes, but I will say that, you get just as much good stuff as you do not so good stuff.
Yeah.
So you're going to be all over the place emotionally. I would say get your Apple Watch, watch your heart rate. It's a snack. Every time your heart rate hits 120, sitting in a chair, grab something to eat.
Yeah, because and like you said, you definitely do get some good feels, some closure about certain things. Like it was, you get your peaks and valleys, man. You definitely get your everything. You get everything. I don't know what else you would want. Like you know what I mean. People were saying that it was stale, but what would they do differently? I would love to see them to do better.
Yeah, and my thing is we run a whole podcast. We have a really good time hanging out with people, connecting with people, and the reason that we wanted to do this kind of an episode is one, we wanted to give people a chance to hear a little bit about Endgame, with what might intrigue you without ruining it for you. My problem is that you wouldn't believe how many people are like intentionally spoiling this movie, and it's very unfortunate because you got something that the Iron Man came out in 2008, and here we are all the way with the end of this glorious saga in 2019, and it's like, why do you got to ruin this for people? Don't do. We don't want to do that. And
Hmm.
I don't think that, your fellow, nerd should do that. Like it's just a dick move. Like don't do that.
Yeah, it's one reason why I hate the internet. Just one of
Yeah, it's people who are like, oh, ha, 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 look how cool and funny I am.
them.
It's just like, I'll hurt you. I'll physically whoop your ass. Like if somebody's, just was to say something, randomly and they're like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, well, now you know, shut up, no more. That's how I would feel. But if somebody got in my face and they were like, and just so you know, X, Y, and Z aren't,
Oh
aren't,
yeah,
aren't gonna make it. And
yeah.
also I'd be like,
Like, cause I already seen it, but somebody on my friends list did just that. They were just like, boom, boom, bow, whatever happens.
right,
Yeah,
send, and then turn the internet off like it's okay.
right. We.
I'll go through everything, every single one of your areas on the account. I'm like, this has sexually offended me. I don't feel safe. Shut it down forever. I'd report everything. I don't
Yeah,
care.
ridiculous, man. Because like you said, we've been building up to this for a long time, and it's just like I don't feel like it happened in with Infinity War. I don't remember seeing too much, but it seems like with Endgame, people just like, nah, to hell with that.
Well,
I'm here.
Infinity War was pretty bad. The second day, so I saw it the day before. So really, it's the first day. When I woke up, there was nothing but memes of how people post memes, but it'll be like, here's spoilers without context,
Hmm.
which is just as bad, I think.
Right.
With and it's been a year, so forgive me, but I mean, at the end, you've got people that are disintegrating, and it was just a bunch of stuff like that. And after a while, yeah, it was kind of funny where they had, I, I guess it depends on your taste in humor, but celebrities that had passed, and just people who in other movies who passed and stuff like that, where they're disintegrating and disappearing, evaporating, whatever. But the first day, no, they had everybody who didn't make it, and not only that, I
Mm.
seen one jackass. This is for Infinity War, mind you, that took a list of characters like a box, and they were set up, like Mortal Kombat select a character type style, like they're all in here, and they had all the Avengers, and then they had little red X's over who didn't make it with no
It's like, nope,
context.
he gone.
Just posted
He
that.
gone.
And I was like, I had seen it all. Like I was cool. I was safe. But, as an admin for a lot of like, larger Facebook groups and stuff like that, I had to go through and, we actually had to turn on, um, post approval. So
Hmm.
like after that, like from that day forward, like I couldn't do anything anymore because I woke up to people in my inbox like, what the hell's going on? Is anybody managing this? And I'm just like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Now you ruined it for everybody, So I don't know. You'd be surprised. You wouldn't believe how many people, have this ill intent. And it's unfortunate. So my whole message to you guys, and I think Jay agrees, is don't be that guy. Don't.
Don't be that guy,
And
please.
and on this video, we're gonna post spoiler free. So, you guys are good. But later this week, I believe Steven will be joining me. Maybe somebody else. We got to get Gia back on. She's been very, very busy. I know you guys miss her. And she
I
misses
miss
you.
her.
And she misses you.
Wow.
Well,
That's not nice.
we talking about
That's not
the fan base who misses Gia.
nice.
Steven,
He said, man,
yeah, some people love Steven, as we've been told on Castbox.
yeah, right.
I'm gonna bring that up.
Steve told you.
I'm gonna bring that up next show. Yeah, somebody came in and they were just like, "This is a sick of Tino. He's cutting people off. It's the Tino show, the Tino podcast, Tino media. I hate that guy." Look, man,
Team Steve.
I'm pretty busy making sure that the show hits every week. If it was up to Steven, you guys would have all sorts of crazy wild times. And that's not to say he's sloppy. Steven is he's like a big kid, He's just got a lot.
Yeah,
He's got a lot going on.
enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm the nerd that's like organized. Like, look, guys, this is the deadline. Got to get this done. No matter what. Steven's more like, today I'm gonna eat pizza and then I'm gonna take a nap. And if my nap doesn't exceed 3 to 4 hours, then yeah, we'll do the pot. You know what I mean? It just kind of depends on his mood, which I kind of respect him for it because he's a free spirit. Which is probably why we have like good synergy. Am I using that properly? Let's assume I'm using that word properly.
Okay.
Good synergy. Somebody's gonna be like, "You idiot! Stop talking."
Right.
If you don't know,
Dumbass.
like I might know. It's been a while since I used some words. Been hanging out with Steven. All right,
Oh man.
that's my last shot at Steven.
Right. I'm not coming for you. Go ahead. I'm not coming for
That's my favorite. Look, I'm not coming for you, but let me tell you how it is.
you.
Yeah, I'm just salty. I got ripped apart by I don't even got his name on here right now. I forgot off the top of my head, but I'm gonna bring it up next show. I'm like, look, man, you hurt me here. I've been up editing to make sure you guys have shows every week, and it hurts here.
Deep.
But we've been trying to get a lot more guests on the show. So as time goes by, I'm hoping that we can have just a lot of people popping up. Guys, let us know what you think about these people that have been popping in. We're just trying to network, meet people, hear their side of the story. If you have a friend who's got their own YouTube channel that does animation, or you got a friend that's a musician that's really big in the anime, or just whatever their thing is. I mean, let us know. Shoot us an email. I mean, maybe we can work something out and have them on the show as a guest just to talk. Have nerd talk. For me, it's delightful to hear other people's opinions. Jay, he'd be piggybacking what I say unless we're talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Or Thor Dark World. So bam. That's two right there.
Okay, well, you obviously don't get serious material.
Come on, man. I understand serious. Look at this face.
Look, I didn't even come at you for not liking it. I mean, I was hurt, but I didn't come at you. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, but I didn't. So
I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Shut up, Jay. So thanks for tuning in, joining us. We appreciate you taking the time. If you happen to see this, by this Monday, what date is that? That's Monday the 29th. If you happen to see this Monday the 29th and you subscribe to the channel, you will be entered in for that chance to win that Mortal Kombat game. I know the game just came out, but we tried to push it to the end of the month just to give more people a chance to enter. We felt that was fair. I think that justifies a $60 game, so don't be mad that we didn't have it on launch day this time. We just wanted to give you guys a few extra days, a chance to win. So if you're hearing this for the first time, you can still do it. Just subscribe to the channel. If you're already here, subscribe. Just comment on a video about your favorite MK character and why. If you can't write why, at least give me your favorite MK character, because that's what we're looking for when we go through the list.
I need a couple emojis, at least. Like, just give me a scorpion, a couple of fireballs.
I want you guys to write Jay's name, and I want you to give us the kind of like a dirty emoji for Jay. Be creative with it, whatever you want.
Yeah. No monkeys. I don't want that. It got to be something dope.
It can be monkeys. He's almost as black as the headphones he's wearing. It looks like his ears.
Really?
Well, all right, guys. Well, again, thank you for tuning in. Head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com. Just check us out. We're on social media, all different forms of social networks. Subscribe to the audio podcast, and look out for that episode full of spoilers and detailed conversation later this week regarding Endgame.
Go watch it.
Have a good night.
All right, good night. Peace.